Hello, this is Greg from Greg Cheek Speaks, and this is a new episode of my short videos I have, and this is called The Fourth Point of Contact. I am in Stuttgart, Germany at Kong's Gym with Sascha Sharma. Many of you know Sascha from Tough, the Ultimate Fighter 22, which recently concluded back in Las Vegas. So quickly, I'm just going to, Sascha and I have been talking. He just finished with a workout which was amazing. I just watched it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little introduction. Sascha's father and parents are from India, but he is born in Germany. He's a German citizen. He's just fought with the European team, of course, in Tough 22. In Tough 22, some of you might know the names like Edgar, Mendez, Lobov, Lausen, but the one that I remember most is Sascha, because my wife is German, and so when Tough 22 came out, the first thing my wife told me was, hey, look at this. There's somebody from Germany with the European team. So that's how we started following Sascha. And, you know, the big thing I think that I got from watching this was resiliency, Sascha. And my wife was coaching me on this. Elasticity. Is that it? Okay. Talking about being resilient. And I think that's a big thing. And it's a part of my book. And so in the past, in the 3 points of contact, we talked about various stages of the optimism, visualization, action, ending with enthusiasm. So in this new little series I'm going to have in the fourth point of contact, I've got a bunch of athletes lined up, and we're going to talk about, 3 points of contact basically is 2 hands, 1 arm, 2 arms, 1 leg, kind of like I am right now holding this stick here. But 4 points of contact is the ultimate. That's like control, right, Sascha? You're on top and you ground and pound. So, the fourth point of contact, what I want to do is get professional athletes, professionals in their craft, and kind of take the things that I've talked about and taking it to the next level. So, anything you want to talk about before we get into our parts in the book here? Good. Okay, the first thing is self-talk, Sascha, and I talk about this in my book on the thing that was difficult for me going through cancer was dealing with self-talk. And they were always in my head. I had cancer, negativity, and trying to get it out. So for you, in this business you're in MMA and fighting, so you get in that cage, how do you handle self-talk?
I just try to picture what do I want to achieve.
Okay.
Why am I doing this? You saw the workout that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was self-destructive. You saw the sparring I was doing with this heavyweight, the boxing. It's self-destructive. Why am I doing this? Oliver, my coach and mentor, he was asking me, hey, during the workout, why are you doing this? And I said, visualize. What do you want to achieve? And I just stared into the glass and I saw myself. And I said, I want to see myself, how my hand gets raised, and I say, Sascha won this fight.
Super.
That's
Super. So self-talk, though, when you get in the cage, it shuts off. You don't have any negative self-talk, anything?
I try everything that's negative. I just try to keep it away. I just want to have positive stuff in my head. I just want to picture myself, how am I winning, the movements that I'm doing, and the achievements that I get from this.
Absolutely. So the next I have, being thankful. And being thankful is a big part of my book, and that is, it seems to me the more I give thanks and the more I appreciate other people, I get that karma back to me, and the karma comes back to me. How do you, you got to have some of that, because you, like I said, you're a very resilient, positive person, and so there's got to be that going on.
There's a very good friend of mine. I want to mention him. His name is Sebastian Jakob Häuser. He's a good jits friend from me. He's also a very good friend from Oliver. And I was sitting once with him. We were watching some jiu-jitsu, and then he was showing me a picture of a guy who was doing something bad, and he said, karma will get him. And since that. Since this time, it was maybe a year ago, and since that I was always thinking about, hey, he's right. You do bad stuff will come back to you. But if you do good stuff, sometimes bad stuff will happen to you too, Right. But if you're always kind to people, the kindness will come back,
Right.
And there's an Indian story my dad told me. There was a dog. He was going into a castle, and he was yelling, wow, 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 wow.
Right.
And in the whole castle there were mirrors, And then the dog came out and told the other dogs, hey, in this castle there are just dogs that are yelling at you, And then there was another dog coming in there, you know, and he was smiling and he was friendly, and then the picture that came back were smiling and friendly dogs, and then he came out, no, that's wrong, everybody is nice over there, you know, and that's how I think, you know, karma comes back.
Correct. Yeah, and I was thinking about that when you were in there and that big heavyweight was tossing you around like a rag doll. Y'all should have seen how big that guy was as Sasha's getting ready for him. We'll talk about his next fight coming up in a couple weeks.
But let me say this, you know, as rough as he is with me, you know, Timo Schwarm, he's a former pro boxer. He's such a nice guy, you know, and when it's time for him for preparation, I give it back to him. That's some kind of karma too, you know. We always try to push ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, we talked before we started the interview about stillness and how important stillness was to me. I couldn't, it was the turning point for me for running the cancer out of my body, but I think for you, and you can share with the audience, I think as a martial artist, especially at the tip of your craft like you are as a professional, can you talk a little bit about how important stillness is?
First of all, I don't think that I'm on the top. I still want to go further and further and further. There's no top, you know. If you think you're on the top, you're down, you know, actually. And for me, it's like when I started martial arts, I was like very fighting these and that, you know, and by time and time when you see you get beaten up, you get choked out, and you also beat up people, you choke up people, you just get that inner peace. And for me, a good martial artist, he also must be a friendly person. If you're not a friendly person, you're a good martial artist, okay, but time and time will get you, you know. Time will get you, you know. If you're an asshole, you're gonna get it back.
And I noticed that as I was, you know, as you were working out and people were leaving, everybody was friendly. Hey, you know, good Abend, choose, have a good day. And I'm like, you know, all these, you know, people with bruises on their cheeks and knots on their heads coming out, and they're so friendly when they leave. So it's just part of the culture that you have here.
That's how it has to be, you know. If you're surrounded by people who are bad people, you know, you don't want to come to the gym, you know. We want to have your friendly atmosphere. That's
correct. Absolutely. Okay, this is a big one, healthcare. Healthcare is, I changed my health 100% 10 May 2010 when I was diagnosed with cancer, and we were talking about running and stuff. How about healthcare, sleep, nutrition, all that kind of physio, all that kind of stuff?
It was the same with me when I got the Guillain-Barre Syndrome. I was a fatty little child when I got sick, you know. And then I said, I gotta change something, you know. I was just playing video games and sitting at home all the time. And then after my sickness, I said I have to change something, you know. And then I came to skateboarding. I came to like a little bit of bodybuilding, and then when I came to martial art, my life changed in a totally positive way.
Wonderful,
and healthcare for me, it's like, especially when I'm in preparation for a fight now, I sleep a lot. I want to eat the right stuff. Today I was with friends around and they went, hey, come on, eat that chocolate. I said, it's a full milk chocolate. No, let me get like 85% chocolate, you know. It doesn't have so much sugar, you know. And that's how I adjust. You know, that's how I adjust. I just want to eat. When I'm in preparation, I eat healthy. But when I'm not in preparation, the guys who know me, I like to eat a lot of stuff. In Germany, we have a lot of good stuff.
We
also have a lot of good stuff.
No, absolutely. We have a lot here.
I love the Cheesecake Factory. I love the all this stuff. You know,
it's nice. It's good. It's good.
And I like Spätzle too.
We talked about healthcare. We skipped over that, and I did anyway. The Guillain-Barre Syndrome, and those that don't know what that is, and I did a little research on the Mayo Clinic about that. But that is that's very serious, and there was a possibility that you might not even have walked again right? And so you say that was kind of a turning point, was going from that and then starting martial arts and kind of moving forward from that, right?
Martial arts came later on. When I was sick, I was 11 years old. You know, I was not thinking about martial arts. You know, when I was there in the hospital, I was sick, and everybody was visiting me. You know, I just saw the help and the support of my family. You know, and my daddy was always so he was always so sad to see watching me in the wheelchair. You know, and then I told myself, hey. Because my daddy always wanted me to be a doctor. I said, Dad, I gotta
Indian,
be
right? Imagine that. I'll be a doctor, right?
I want to be a doctor. And then he was like, I said it just to make him to make him happy again. Because he was so sad and he didn't like to show me, but he was so sad and I said, I gotta be a doctor. I'm not a doctor right now, you know, but I tried to do something with my life. I tried to do something different, not just sitting around and playing computer. I'm still playing video games, you know. I'm a gamer, you know. Right now I'll do this for business, you know?
Right. Okay, well, we talk about that, about being a doctor and doing what you like. next is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is a separate entire category in my book, but so enthusiasm and for what you do, because I've seen it. I've been here for a couple hours watching you, and it's just you're enthusiastic about everything that you're doing here. And to me, it would seem like, I know like when I'm going on a long run training for a marathon, I try to be enthusiastic, but at some point it just kind of beats me down. But so how do you maintain your enthusiasm?
It's like, the last half year was a little tough for me, I didn't get the offers that I wanted,
Right,
it was
right.
like I had this injury with my shoulder,
Right.
I flew out from tough, and it was, for me, MMA was like, when the first time when I went to India to fight at a super fight league, this was like my dream, flying around in the world, fighting against other good people,
Right,
getting
right.
money for this, making a living out of it, and that's what I want to have from fighting, And when the offer came from M1 Global, I was like on fire. It was like when I heard, "Hey, you're going to tough." This was like, that's my motivation. That's what I'm doing this for. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this to fight. I don't know at some promotions where
Right,
I
right.
have to warm up in the kitchen. I don't want to do this anymore. I did my tough times. And now for me, I just want to go abroad. My big dream, my big dream, is to fight whether in India at the UFC or going to Japan. I'm such a big friend of Japan, and my big life dream is going to Japan, spending a little time over there, and fighting over there. That's my life dream. So if there's a
Super.
promoter out
Okay,
there
yeah.
to let me fight in Japan, I'm in. I'm in.
You hear that?
Light or featherweight.
We're gonna spread the word. We're gonna give it to everybody from Dana to everybody around. But this, the M1, I was really excited.
Yeah.
The thing was, Sascha, I was following you a lot on social media, and I noticed after Tough, you were a little bit quiet, a few stuff out there. Then all of a sudden, you've been tracking. I looked at it on the train coming here. When you found out the M1 and all that, whoom, you could just see you could just see it happening. That's good.
Fire.
And that's good stuff. And I talk about enthusiasm killers, and that is, what do you do about people that try to deflate your enthusiasm? Because there's people out there, and not to say, people like coaches or anybody that would try to, but I mean, there are people out there that try to, like, as you're bringing yourself up, try to bring you down. So what do you do about that?
Life is about ups and downs. I had my up when I was in tough. Then I had my down when I was kicked out of the show. When there was no UFC fight for me upcoming. And then I don't like to listen too much to people who are talking bad about me. I like to listen to the people who care about me, who are my friends, who were my friends before tough and after tough. And they were just, hey, go on with the stuff.
Right.
You did some good stuff. You did some mistakes.
Exactly.
We are always very honest with me. My coach always says, "This was not good what you have done." But let's go on. If you want to stay on this way, just go on.
Yeah.
It's ups and downs. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
It is. So do you read, like, social media? Do you read any of those comments that are out there?
When the fight was there, I read some of them, but then sometimes it just pissed me off. It's if you hear it from a fighter, from somebody who's professional, then I'm open to it. But if there's somebody who does not know the story, who does not know that I was injured, because I could have pulled out, I just could have said, hey, I'm injured, I'm just going home, But I did it. I went in there, and then people are saying, oh, he's a pussy, he's feared, he's scared, and all this stuff, and it was just not true, If I would have been scared, I would have just gone home, But
Exactly.
I stood in there and I tried to fight.
Well, after your first hour, I went over and got on social media and started looking at some of the old comments. It doesn't take much guts to sit behind a handy or a computer somewhere in the world and just send off comments. Because I started reading them and I started getting pissed off. And I was like, until they've come in a place like this and trained and done what you've done and have the guts to step in an octagon. But as I was saying, I don't know, and that's what I meant about the enthusiasm killer. So
it doesn't kill my enthusiasm. This just makes me a little bit angry, but it just motivates me to thrive, to get better. I don't want to do the same mistakes.
And this is the reason why that I wanted to talk to Sascha first. I've got a bunch of I've got a lineup coming. I'm gonna starting this weekend. But I really want to come talk to Sascha because I really got to know him by watching him on the Tough on 22. But I think the resiliency part of it and seeing the way his positivity, and now that coming in the gym and watching him here, he's 1,000% more than I even thought watching the show or watching him in other interviews and other things like that. So I think nothing but great things for you, Sascha. I wish you great luck. I have something for you. This is a book. This is a book for you from me. That's my book for you. And you've got, and for those that don't know, it's April 7th, right?
April 7th.
April
Yeah.
7th.
No, April 9th.
April 9th. April 9th, I'm sorry.
St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg. So April 9th, M1 Challenge, the 65 card in St. Petersburg, Russia. And it's just a couple weeks away. And so it was very interesting to watch Sascha, you know, focused in today. But I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with me and talking to me on this big day. So for everybody out there, this is my very first fourth point of contact with MMA superstar and future, and but it's so great because Stuttgart, Germany is really like my second home. My wife is from here. I wanted to come back here. The first thing when I got diagnosed with cancer, so I feel like this kinship with Sascha. So for everybody out there, please follow him in a couple weeks on April 9th. And this is Greg Cheek, Sascha Sharma from Stuttgart, Germany. Bye.
Dankeschön.